Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrassle Graps. My name is Chris.
My name is Vincent.
And man, it's kind of nice having content pre-recorded. You can just kind of throw up on the channel. We got a little week off. You guys got a video still. It was nice.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But we
video
had
didn't
to
get a
come
lot.
back and do 2 reviews for everybody.
We do have 2 reviews lined up. And if you don't know what we're talking about with the video that went up last week, it is up there. It's about the current state of music at the WWE. But that's if you want to check it out, check it out. If not, please stick around, guys. We're here to review Monday Night Raw from after Night of Champions.
Right, after Night of Champions. So we're doing this after Night of Champions. But I mean, we already watched Night of Champions, but we didn't cover it yet in the review recording.
This is going to be confusing, but let's get into it.
Yeah, but whatever, it's fine.
So the show kicks off. Rhea Ripley comes out. She's talking about how she beat Raquel. She's saying she's trying to figure out what's next for her, but then Io Sky comes out and says, "Hey, Rhea, you're pretty cool. Let's wrestle again for my title at Evolution 2." And I said, "Fuck." And she said, "Yeah, let's do it." And I said, "Fuck," again.
You're fucking twice, huh?
This is some of the worst booking I've seen in my life. Well, no, but it's up there.
Yeah, Triple H. When I watched this episode, I was like, Triple H is not doing a good job. And then when I watched Night of Champions, I said Triple H is not doing a good job. So, I mean, there's a common theme here.
Honestly, the rest of the show is pretty enjoyable. It's just this one segment where I was like, dude, you're not even trying.
I don't know. I felt like everything was made, but we're going to get to everything later. And I thought this one was kind of made as well, this segment itself.
I don't know if this is like an indictment of the fact that their 3 main stars are all wrapped up in the Intercontinental title feud, or if this is just an indictment of the fact that they don't know what they're doing right now. But man,
I
this
don't
is
think
such
they
a
know where to
lazy
put
choice.
Io Sky. They don't know where to put her. And I think that's been pretty obvious over the past few weeks, the months. And she's had this championship.
Hmm.
I feel like they just don't know where to put her. So she's kind of just around, you know?
Yeah, I get that, but like you're gonna have Rhea win and then Rhea's champion again, and then you run it back for like the 6th time.
Because that's the thing about Triple H. Like, why are you going to have all these people on the roster? You make them champions, and then you have nothing else planned for them besides them being champion, and then them losing the championship. Like
I'm
nothing
just
else
saying,
interesting
bro.
going on.
You
And
can't have like
if you're gonna keep doing cinema shit, at least do cinema right. You know what I mean?
now I understand completely that this probably wasn't the plan originally and that this wasn't going to happen, but then Liv got injured and now everything's kind of messed up. But you could have tried a little bit harder to find an opponent for her.
Is this his Tony Khan, Adam Cole, MJF moment?
It kind of is where someone gets injured and then the booker's just like, I don't know what the fuck to do now. You get out there, you deal with it.
A few people have gotten injured. In fact, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know either. I don't even know where you're going with that.
No, I'm saying a few people have gotten injured, and he's taken the story in different ways. You know, I'm just saying, and they're not all good. None of them are good.
This is probably the worst one. It's one of them. One of the worst ones.
Oh, we're gonna see the worst one later. I'll tell you that.
Dude, I mean, you know what? The thing is, I know the match will be good. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, it's gonna suck. It won't. They always put on a good match. It's just we've done this a couple of times already. I'm not exactly wanting to see it again right now.
Yeah, me either. Actually, I don't think this match is. Actually, I do want to see the match, but I mean, I'm not too stoked about it.
But this is so lazy. I wonder what's next. I want to wrestle you. I chose you because Adam Pearce said I can choose you to wrestle. And
Well, it was just like
it's like,
you're
yeah,
the
okay.
best. You're the best right now, but I'm not. I'm not actually the best. I'm the champion. So let's fight. You know.
I thought she was gonna go out there and be like, hey, I want to give you another shot at the belt. And then I know I want to wrestle you because you're the best on this roster right now, in my opinion. She's gonna say, you know what? I don't feel like I've earned it just yet. And then they're gonna go somewhere else. But I guess they just didn't because they don't have the time for it. But who knows?
Just give Natalia a title shot. That'll do numbers.
Dude, just give it to Kyrie. Why not just give it to Kyrie?
No, Kyrie's pretty good actually. You know, I like Kyrie. I saw her video package later.
You couldn't have, or like I could imagine, like if Liv wasn't injured Roxanne could have very much been the one in this position who gets the title shot. But I
Oh,
understand you
for
got to
sure.
change the plans or whatever. But it's just so lazy to go back to the Rhea well again.
Yeah, I get that. I think the best stuff Judgment Day has some of the best stuff, I think, on Raw in general.
I would have much rather, because you just had them do the match like a month ago or 2 months ago, where Stephanie Vaquer came out and said, "You're one of the best. I'm one of the best. Let's wrestle." And they never really got a good conclusion to that match. So I thought, you could just, if you're gonna have her come out and choose somebody, just be like, "Hey, we didn't get to finish this match. Let's do it at Evolution."
Right. Yeah, well, this was lazy. I think that's the key here, and I think Triple H does a lot of lazy things, I think. That's very obvious.
And again, I'll reiterate, someone got injured, probably screwed up the plans, and plus you only got 2 weeks to book this thing, but really that's your fault for not figuring it out soon.
Bro should have had a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. He only had a plan A,
Little
which is
embarrassing,
kind of
not gonna
weird for
lie.
him personally, but
Yeah, that's his
whatever.
whole gimmick is have a plan B, but whatever.
Yeah, not like that though. Not like that.
I don't know, maybe like that.
I'll probably like that. Yeah, probably.
Maybe Triple H is a big proponent of birth control. You don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
I don't want to
Isn't
assume.
he? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Allegedly, maybe he had 2 kids, side two was enough. I don't want any more. Who knows?
That's true. That's a true fact.
Allegedly, Triple H confirm or deny. Come on. You know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below, Triple H.
Let us know your preferred method of birth control, Triple H. Thank you.
We'd like to know. The
Not
world
weird at
would like
all.
to know. Yeah,
Don't ask questions, just answer the question. Thank you. So Judgment Day is backstage, and Dom's
oh,
like, "Hey, go get
Dom's.
him, guys."
Yeah,
And then after they leave, AJ shows up and says, "Oh, you're injured, huh?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got a doctor's note to prove it." And then he goes, "Why don't you pull out your glasses and read it?" And then AJ gives him a look, and then AJ actually pulls out the glasses, and he goes, "Man, that is legally binding." And you know what? It's crazy. It says right here, "You're a little punk ass." And he goes, "Hey, well, hold on a second." He goes, "I'm injured. You can't touch me, otherwise you're never getting a shot at this belt." And
is that
then
how
he
that
goes, "As
works?
long." That's what he said was on the paper, and he said that's what Adam Pearce said.
All right. Well, I mean, look, if he says so,
And Adam Pearce never corrected him throughout the night, so I'm assuming it's true.
it's probably true. And AJ said that's probably true. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch.
And then he leaves, and then he comes back and he goes, "Hey, you still injured?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Ah, damn."
Fuck. Yeah.
Love a nice little unintentional comedy spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I think this was okay for what it's worth.
It was fine. It got a chuckle out of me. It is what it is.
That's what it was meant to do. I think it was meant to give a chuckle. That's what it was meant to do specifically.
It was entertaining enough, but that's really all there is to it.
It's written down on the notes as chuckle segment.
Yeah, giggle sesh in all caps.
Kegel sesh.
Next up, we get our first match of the night. It's a title match, the Judgment Day versus the New Day for the tag belts. It was a good match. Not going to complain about the match, but I think everyone's been saying it. We're not going to say any different here. The New Day's heel run with the belts very underwhelming.
Super underwhelming, especially when you factor in that most of their segments were during commercial breaks.
TC's really kicked Big E out of the group and called him a bum just to have one of the worst tag reigns you've ever seen in your life, and that's kind of disappointing.
That's the most disappointing thing about this whole thing is that they get the best, like one of the best heel turn segments in a while, and they didn't capitalize at all off of it.
It's a shame. Did you can really tell it's because it's in the tag division and they just didn't care? And that sucks.
That's the price. It's the tag division. It's cursed, and also they don't care. Yeah,
But again, good match. You get new tag team champions in Finn and JD, and we'll see where it goes.
definitely. I don't actually like JD at all, but good for Finn, I guess.
Just to make my life easier, at this point in reviewing stuff, I just look at the in-ring work and I acknowledge, yes, outside of the ring, they may be one way. But just to simplify things, I only look at what's going on the show, to make life
It's
easier.
fair. It's fair. I'd rather JD not be there and Carlito be in his spot.
Of course, if JD McDonough, committed several mass murders, I would then have to take into account that he did do that. But he hasn't yet, to my knowledge.
No, definitely not. But I feel like Chris Benoit had a big head too, so I mean, I don't know.
He's one of those guys where I can't do it with because again, it's just too the crime was just too overwhelming. It's just
Yeah, I'd rather forget about him.
I think it's for the best. I understand great in the ring that does not excuse what he did at the end. That really overshadows and ruins his entire career.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Next up, we get to the best women's feud on Raw. Currently, Bailey and Lyra. Uh, Bailey is backstage, or I think Lyra. No, Bailey was there first, talking about what happened with Lyra. But then Lyra comes up. She's like, "Oh, you're talking about me behind my back now, right?" And then they get mad at each other. They start arguing. Adam Pearce starts yelling because he's upset also for some reason. He goes, "You two can settle it in the ring." And the winner faces Becky for the title at Evolution. And they said, "Great."
Evolution. Evolution.
That really, I know it won't be. But if they could get that to be the song for the show, that'd be great.
Why can't they?
This doesn't make sense.
Why not? It makes perfect
Because,
sense if it's the title of the show.
yeah, but also it's not that evolution.
It's the same evolution.
Not the same idea.
You just gotta get Ric Flair to do his final match on there.
Ric Flair is literally having surgery this week. So not happening.
I'm sure he'd love it. Okay,
He
he'd come
would.
through the best match of all time.
Ric Flair is kind of psychotic. He would just do it for the gig, I guess.
The gig goals, the giggles,
Yeah.
and the shits.
For, yeah, for both of those things.
Those are things
He
that can
die in the ring
happen.
just for it.
Yeah,
The best Ric Flair knows the best Ric Flair moment in the past 5 years was the Christian Cage line from AEW. Everyone knows it.
you're Ric Flair, not Christian Cage.
You know that wasn't the line. You know damn
Yeah,
well that wasn't the line.
I don't remember what the fuck he said, so I'm just gonna say what I
He
think he
said,
said.
he said, and I quote, "If there was a God, Ric Flair would have died 20 years ago."
Oh, that's right. That's a good line.
The most out of pocket line I've ever heard in my entire life.
Okay, the Christian man, Christian is fantastic
That's my guy right there. Love Christian.
for the peeps.
Anyway, we got to Gable with the Alpha Academy. No, American Made. What's their gimmick? What's
This is
their
where I
name?
lost. This is where I lost everything.
You lost everything here.
Oh, did you cover that they made the match official for tonight for the Bailey and Lyra?
Yes,
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what comes after this. Chad Gable, yeah, Chad Gable,
Gable's backstage with Niall and the Creeds, the British brothers, if you will, and
Bruce Brothers.
basically says, "Guys, I'm injured. I'll be gone for a little while. You guys, Ivy handles Stephanie Vaquer. I guess they have a feud going on now." And you guys go get the tag belts, and you can see Ludwig Kaiser in the background just kind of lurking.
Lurkwig Kaiser.
Yeah, you know how people refer to him.
That's that was off the dome. That was off the dome. What can I say? I'm just him.
Very creative. Very
Exactly.
creative.
Exactly. It could have
So
worked. It
now,
could have not worked, and it did. So that's good.
that's debatable. Let's know in the comments if it worked.
What the fuck, man? How dare you switch up like this?
I'm just saying, let us know in the comments below if you thought it worked. I'm 50-50.
Anyway, for some reason, Aldis is on the show.
He is, because they're trying to figure out what to do with the women's tag belts now that Liv's injured. And I guess because the tag belts go across all brands, it requires all the GMs, even though they couldn't bring Ava, uh, the NXT general manager, over to talk about it. I
It's
guess
giving
they just don't
sexist.
care.
It's giving
Like,
sexist.
it might be given that. It might be given, who gives a shit about NXT vibes. But either way, I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Shawn Michaels should have just pulled up.
You should have. You really should have, stood on business.
Yeah.
But,
Where is this sexism I'm seeing?
he would have. He would have.
I'm just a sexy boy.
He may be a sexy boy, but he doesn't condone sexism.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's two different things right there.
Right. Allegedly.
So, I think that, let us know in the comments down below, 50-50.
Yeah, 50 feet.
I don't even want to talk about that because I don't even know if, what. I don't even know how to respond to that one.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't. I'm admitting it freely. So Balor and JD, they go to talk to the GMs, Pierce and Aldis. And they go, hey, you're talking about to do with the titles, the tag titles for the women. I think you should just let Roxanne take Liv's title and then team with Raquel. And they say, you know what? It's not a horrible idea, but they got to earn the belts. So at Evolution, it'll be them versus a team from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And whoever wins gets to be the champions. And they say, you know what? Good enough. We'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. They say, yeah, but under one condition. They have to wrestle in a triple threat tag team match with all the roster.
Fatal four way tag match.
Triple threat fatal four way with all the rosters.
Yep. Mathematically sound.
And it's both disaster for Judgment Day, it seems. Or no, yeah, Judgment Day for real, yeah.
66 and a six chance, a 2-6 chance.
Right, that's math,
However,
man. That's math. Quick
however
maths.
that goes.
Mine's on the block, or whatever he says, yeah.
They know, well, for a fact that it's actually 50% chance, not 25% chance, because the team from NXT, everyone knows, just won't even bother and isn't even a factor, really. So it doesn't even matter that they're there. So 50% chance.
Pity. Pity.
Anyway, next up, we get, in my opinion, easily the best match on the show, Rusev and Sheamus.
Rusev and Sheamus killed it like I thought they were going to do. This is my most anticipated match of the night.
When we decided to review Raw, I looked at the card and I said, you know what, just for this one match, I'll do it. That, and because we do
Oh,
this.
did we cover the tension between the Aldis and what's his face?
Oh yeah, they were like they were talking about it after Finn and JD left, and basically Aldous goes, "I'm glad I could be on the same page for once." And then, for no reason at all, Pierce just looks at him and goes, "For now." I was like, "What the fuck?
It was like
What's
the most
this?"
dramatic thing ever. Yeah,
This dude's just a weird man. I don't know what to tell you.
bro, he's like crazy. He's insane.
It was so out of left field that even Aldous didn't even know what to do with it. He was like, "Okay, anyway."
Okay, bro.
Yeah, basically. He didn't say it, but you could tell he was thinking it.
Probably. Well, anyway,
And
Sheamus versus Rusev. Match exquisite.
these dudes had a pay-per-view quality match on a Monday Night Raw for absolutely no reason. And you know what? I loved it. Everything about it.
And I think a common theme is Sheamus. You know, Sheamus is always putting in that work to really show that he's one of the best wrestlers right now.
You know what? It's a common theme in wrestling where you put two friends in the ring and the odds are they're going to have a great match. And this did not disappoint.
I don't even think Sheamus goes like super hard, but he does enough to make it a really good match.
Yeah, no, I agree. I got a lot of I got a lot of joy out of it.
Of course, Rusev is no slouch either. By the way, I think Rusev he's underrated, which is not an insult, but you know.
No, not at all. And you know what? They had a great match, and Rusev cheated to win, so you could always do another one. And I have no complaints about that.
I agree with Big E. They should be a best of seven. It should have been best of seven from the jump. So
I don't know about best of seven, but at the
one
very
hundred
least,
percent it should be a best of seven. 100%.
okay, fair, but also the best of seven thing got old.
It
Okay.
really didn't though. They had the really good matches, and it was good,
The
and I
thing
enjoyed.
you forget the fact that some of them weren't even televised.
So be it. You know,
But whatever. I enjoyed this a lot. I have no problem seeing them run it back a second time.
banger after banger after banger after banger, 7 times.
Hmm. So after this great match, if you haven't seen it, go check it out.
They
You
announced
forget
Evolution.
they didn't even do that. They talk about I think it's a women's battle royal. Is it for Evolution?
Right. Battle Royal. And one woman will walk out of Evolution standing.
And they're going to SummerSlam, I think.
They actually said it like that too, I think. They were like, yeah, one woman leaves Evolution, the winner.
Yeah, they get a title match at SummerSlam.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why they said it so dramatically, but they did.
I don't know. It was just, I don't know. But whatever.
Oh, this Adam
Interesting though.
Pierce guy, he's a bit of a diva. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Kinda is, yeah. And we're not talking Nikki Bella. No.
No, no, no. We're talking total diva.
So that's Nikki Bella, yeah.
Bro's ready to go out there and get in there with the best.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know
Sassy.
what that
He's
meant. I just
sassy, that's
didn't
what you're saying, he's sassy.
I just didn't know the I didn't know the right terminology. I was like, "How do I not say something bad here?"
Kinda sassy, you feel me?
Thank you. But anyway, after this, we get
American
Ivy
Made
Nile.
interview.
Yeah, Ivy Nile's getting interviewed with the Creed brothers behind him, and, she's trying to talk about something, but then El Grande Americano shows up, not injured, and he's taller all of a sudden and looks a little more, uh, German?
Exquisite.
Swedish? But point is, it's Ludwig Kaiser now as El Grande Americano because, you know, the things you wanted.
Correct.
And
His
they go to
moveset's gonna
talk to him.
drastically change, and you should not question anything.
No, not at all. I feel so bad for this poor man.
I do too. 'Cause this gimmick should just die, okay? It should just die a painful death. However, for some reason, Triple H says just put it on Ludwig Kaiser because we have nothing for him. So let's make him El Grande Americano.
I don't even understand, like, what the thing is here. Did he, did he pay off Ludwig to take his spot while he's gone?
Did he
To
lie
keep
about Vinci this whole time?
maybe? I don't know. I would
And then
honestly
Triple H
prefer
found out and he said, "What the fuck, man? I released that guy? What the hell?"
yeah, maybe. Damn.
Yeah, man, that would be something, you know?
I just don't understand, like, what's the story here of why Kaiser's doing it? Did he just figure out he's just desperate for TV time, and he figured out the guy that was around the Americano was gone, so now he can do it?
Yes. You got it hit it right on the nail.
All right. Well, that happened, and we get no further comment from American Made. So now we move on to Jackie just saying, you know what? That was weird. Let's go talk to somebody
Is
else.
that
And
her
it's
name
Sami
for
Zayn.
real?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
Is that her name? I don't know.
80% sure. Someone's Jackie Redmond. I think it's her.
Oh, you're right. I think it's her. Yeah.
She goes, well, that was weird, but let's go talk to Sami Zayn over there. And
And
before they
he's
can really
doing
go
great,
anywhere,
man. He's
he
doing
was doing
fantastic.
great.
Yeah, what do you mean was?
So about to talk, then all of a sudden, Karen Cross shows up, piece of shit ass Sami Zayn. And he keeps going, say it, say it. I didn't know exactly what he wanted to say, but then he hit him with a lead pipe and left.
I don't know what he wanted him to say either. What was the question? Maybe that'll answer everything.
I don't know. I couldn't really understand him. You know, wasn't exactly muttering. I just couldn't hear him.
So yeah, so yeah. And maybe they're just a big fan of the revival. Think about that.
Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe. He's just
Shouts
trying
out
to
to
say,
those
say
guys.
yeah. You know,
This is his version of John Cena shouting out Matt Cardona.
kind of, yeah. When you really think about it, it makes sense.
It's just exactly what it was. But this just feels like they decided, you know what? Maybe Karen Cross shouldn't have lost the Night of Champions. So we're gonna run this feedback, and this time he'll win.
Yippee, let's go. I think it's just because, yeah, you're probably right. You know, I think they think Karrion Kross needs a victory. I think now is the time for him to get that victory over Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I
I
could
don't
have
think it'll
told you.
hurt Sami Zayn too much. I think
It
that'll
won't.
actually slow him down a little bit for a good reason. You know?
Sami Zayn is perfectly fine to take a loss here and there. He's fine.
Well, he's been losing, but it's like, you know, I feel like Karrion Kross definitely needs a victory. I think Sami Zayn and him could put on some good matches, good feud. I think him winning over Sami is fine
Difference is that Sami Zayn is a very established babyface. That at this point he could take a loss, and it's fine. Uh,
because it doesn't really
Karrion
hurt him
Kross,
to lose, especially when he's an underdog.
yeah, Karrion Kross is dangerously close to 2015 through 2018, I want to say. That time period of Bray Wyatt, where he would just cut these cryptic, cool sounding promos, but then lose. And
And I
that's
think
not
it
good.
works. It works because Sami Zayn is hurt as well. So that kind of
Okay.
protects Sami in a way where it's like he got beat up and now he's very weak, you know,
It's incredibly embarrassing if Kross loses again.
to an injured Sami Zayn or less than 100%.
At that point, you gotta just leave, I think.
At that point, yeah, you might need to cut another promo on Wrestle Recap, maybe.
Maybe, possibly, yeah. Not Raw recap. Not that one.
No, Wrestle Recap, come over to us and we'll give you the right promo. We'll
You
write it
can be a
down and you'll say it.
permanent
No, I'm
member.
kidding. You'll shoot on them. You'll
Be a
shoot on them.
permanent
Shoot promo.
member of Wrassle Recap. You're more than welcome to.
You could do the segment where we talk about recap, recap wrestling. Do
You
that
could spread
segment.
fake rumors about how Sami Zayn's the one that won't take the back bumps.
That's the one. That's the one. That's a good one right there.
There you go.
Fightful won't know what to do with that one.
They'll say facts, source,
Source question mark.
and we won't answer, and that's okay.
Yeah, we don't like to answer things, so we won't answer them.
But anyway, then we move on to Gunther. He's in the ring
Contour.
after a Goldberg video package. He goes, "Man, that was a pretty cool video package." And just like most of Goldberg's matches, it was over in 3 minutes. That's crazy. And
Hey
then he
yo.
says Goldberg doesn't like bullies, but I'm the biggest bully out there. Now I'm gonna kick your ass.
Now in my notes here, I have Gilbert. Now who's Gilbert?
That is the love child of Goldberg and Gilbert.
Well, they want to move on from Gilbert. It says
Yes,
make quick work of Gilbert.
you might just need to be more careful with your spelling. I don't even know.
That's not my fault. That's the iPhone's fault. Okay, don't blame me. I'm doing my best.
I'm just saying my iPhone doesn't do this.
Well, first of all, Goldberg is not a real name, so
It's not, but for some reason I type in Goldberg, it doesn't correct me.
it translates. Gilbert is his new name. Okay, we went from Gunther and we went from Goldberg and Goldberg to just Gilbert and Gunther.
I would much rather see a Gilbert match. At least it has some intrigue to it.
And it does. It sounds very interesting.
I never heard of this guy. What's he do? How does he work? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see what does his attire look like.
But anyway,
His entrance.
then he's like, "We'll figure out what I'll do next after that." But then Seth Rollins comes out, and he's like, "Oh well, maybe we gotta be next." And then he goes, "You know what? You guys traveled the Night of Champions. You did absolutely fuck all. So that's crazy." But then Rollins is like,
Like,
"No, no, we cost CM Punk the match, and that was the goal. And now we're gonna ruin your life too, buddy." But then CM Punk comes out, and Seth is like, "Son of a bitch!" And then Punk beats him up a bit. He escapes. Seth Rollins does. Which, by the way, Seth Rollins' brand new briefcase. It's pretty cool looking.
definitely
Um,
looks cool. They changed the whole thing up.
I think you can buy it in a WWE shop now too if you want.
Yeah,
For
I
some
bet
reason,
that shit's $100 or something.
bring it to the next job interview you attend. People will love that for you.
I came prepared.
But Punk comes up, beats down on Seth for a bit. Seth goes in the crowd, tries to run away. But then Wrassle Graps' Mount Rushmore favorite, LA Knight, shows up
Boo!
and
Boo!
with some popcorn and starts beating up Seth Rollins also. They fight into the concessions area, but then Seth Rollins escapes because LA Knight slipped on something.
Did we talk about how Punk knocked down Gunther?
Oh yeah, this was this after or was this before this?
That was before the whole LA Knight thing.
Yeah, so Gunther, well, Punk goes to leave after he sees that Seth is in the stands, and Gunther goes to grab him for some reason, and then Punk pushes him down. He's like, "Don't even dare! Don't you touch me!"
I'm gonna choke you a little bit. I'm gonna choke you.
He didn't say that, but that's what we like to believe he said. And you know what? I could see it.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Maybe on Dynamite.
Yeah, possibly backstage in a British wrestling show. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, exactly. Brit Rice.
I think if Gunther was really that guy, like I think he is, he should come out next week and he should throw Goldberg through some real glass to prove a point.
And say, I want to challenge Gilbert instead.
Just like that.
Yeah, that'll show
Sorry
him.
if you, sorry if you heard a loud horn. That was a vehicle outside my house.
I didn't hear anything.
That's insane because I heard it and it jump scared me a little.
Well, usually when I don't hear it here, I hear it in the upload.
So if you heard it, sorry about that. That's what that was.
That was just his fart. And it's fine.
Sure it
Everyone
was.
farts. Everyone does.
There's nobody here right now. It's just you, the listener, and you're just listening. So you don't smell it. So I can justify it.
Yeah, it's one of those images you can smell.
Think about that. Have fun thinking
I
about it.
saw that, man. They were like French fries, and they were like, you can smell the French fries. I was like, what the hell? I actually can smell the French fries, but that means nothing.
Man, that's like a Chris Angel mind freak type of deal. That's nuts.
I mean, sometimes you're just craving the McDonald's French fries.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while, now and then.
Well, anyway, ain't nobody trying to see LA Knight versus Seth Rollins.
Well, what's happening? And we might be watching it. So we'll
That
have fun
is
with that.
ridiculous.
So anyway, we move on to Judgment Day. They're backstage. Roxanne is there. You got JD, Finn, Dom, and Raquel. And they're like, no, I think it's time we officially vote Roxanne whether or not you're into Judgment Day. Finn says yes. JD, under duress, I guess, says yes also. And Dom's like, I should go talk to Liv. And then and Finn's like, what are you, a fucking loser, huh? You little
You a
bitch,
bitch or
buddy?
something? Yeah.
Maybe you should just make a decision on your own, buddy. And he goes, fine, you're in.
I
Fine.
guess yes. Yeah.
Nothing that a good little amount of bullying won't fix.
And
And
then
then,
Raquel says, "Yeah, fuck it. You know, as long as you're good with the deal or whatever." And I was like, "I don't. What was the deal?"
not the deal. She just goes, dude, you better not make us lose the belts at Evolution. That's basically what
Oh,
she was saying.
she said the fucking deal. Okay, she said those words.
She basically said, don't make me regret this.
Right. Basically, in shorter terms.
So she's in the group officially now.
I like that, man. I thought she was already in the group, but I guess she's even more in the group, and that's cool.
Well, the past month has been her trying to audition to be in the group,
Oh, so she's like a hang around the whole time.
pretty much.
Damn. Well, now she's in the gang for real.
Yeah, she is. And now moving forward, we get to Bailey versus Lyra. They have a pretty good match. Not gonna
Now
lie.
who the fuck's
Enjoyed it a lot.
Baby Key?
Who?
Baby Key.
Baby Key?
Yep.
What'd you write in your notes? What is this even in relation to?
Well, Baby Key comes out.
You gotta talk to your iPhone, man. You gotta pull him aside. You gotta talk to him about these autocorrects.
Kyrie video package.
This did happen. You know what? That is a thing.
Yeah.
This
I
happened
knew.
before the Bailey Lyra thing. It was a cool
Right.
looking thing. There was a pirate ship. That was fun.
I'm the princess pirate.
Yeah.
Pirate princess.
It was in Japanese, I believe, some of it, because there were subtitles.
Yeah, it was. Some of it was in Japanese. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Hope that means she's getting the push.
I actually want to see Baby Key get a push.
Yeah, whoever that is, I love to see that too.
Yeah.
But Bailey and Lyra, they are up next. Have a really enjoyable match, but they go to a double finish, a draw, which obviously
Double
means we will
finish.
probably get them versus Becky in a triple threat at Evolution.
Evolution.
And then they fight some more, and then they get pulled apart, and that's the end of that.
Never thought I'd see a draw. That's for sure.
What do you mean? I knew for a fact damn well this was going to happen as soon as the match got announced.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
They were obviously doing the triple threat, dude.
That doesn't matter. Okay. I didn't think it was gonna be a draw.
I didn't know for a fact it was going to happen like this. I thought Becky was going to come out and dick with them a bit. I didn't know it was
Nick?
going to be. Yeah.
I never heard this in my life. Dick
Well,
with them?
you heard about it? You've
Dick
heard
with them?
about it now.
That sounds British. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe it was. Who knows?
All right.
Maybe I'm trying to include some vocabulary that really captures an international audience. You don't know.
You know, it's fair though. Sometimes some British stuff slips out of me too. You know,
Yeah, pause.
like taking the piss. That's good.
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? I thought it was gonna be Becky gets involved, but it wasn't. They just had one of those finishes where they're both have their shoulders on the mat during the pin, and they didn't know who won. So
Yeah, for sure. And that's it's interesting for sure. Yeah. Thank God they didn't botch it. That's all.
that would have been pretty awkward.
And they would have been real bad for the people on the internet.
Yes, indeed. So then we go backstage. It's an angry CM Punk talking to Jackie, but then he sees LA Knight and he goes, "Excuse me, Jackie." He goes, "Hey man, Seth is mine." He goes, "You could have him any other day of the week, just not Saturday." Yeah, and then he leaves.
LA Night. Exactly. And it's announced for the show.
It is. It's official for Saturday night's main event.
Exactly. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to see this and Goldberg on the same fucking show.
The fact that you even put them in the same category is offensive to me, I think.
I think that's the same damn thing, and everyone's treating it like it's not.
It's not because you know what? At least this will be an actual match that I can watch and not think, man, this dude is too old to be here.
That's what I think about LA Knight, man.
In the video
Too
package,
damn.
Goldberg literally has liver spots on his fucking head.
Right, right. Well, we're not here talking about Goldberg, okay?
You just were.
No, I stopped talking about Goldberg and I transitioned to talk about Gilbert.
This is gaslighting. Not appreciated.
Everyone heard it.
This is gaslighting. I don't like it. Let us know in the comments down below what he said.
Yeah, sure. Put it in transcript form.
And then also let us know if that joke you said earlier worked. Answer the weekly questionnaire in the comments. Thank you very much.
It worked, man. I remember it from like it was yesterday.
You need to remember it. That's, it might not have worked. But anyway,
Sure.
Sammy's backstage, and then Penta comes up to him. He's like, "Hey, dude, your ribs just got busted. You cool to do this match?" And he goes, "You know it, buddy." And then they go out there.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, let's do the handshake.
I can't believe that they also have a handshake. Why does Sami Zayn have a handshake with everybody he knows?
I don't know, I think it was a pretty basic handshake, honestly, but they can work on it.
They can. They'll have time. But then
Yeah.
Braun and Bronson are backstage with Paul, and then Paul is on the phone. And he's like, "Oh, Seth Rollins ran away to home, and ran away to house." And they said, "Ah, okay." And he goes, "What's the plan?" And he goes, "We're working on Plan B." But then Braun Breaker goes, "The plan is I beat it up and murder everybody in my way." And then Bronson Reed goes, "I like that plan."
See, they had a plan B. That's something that Triple H needs to work on.
Yeah, Plan B for beatdown.
Why are you trying to put something near that?
Plan B for Braun. There you go.
Braun. His opponent said Braun.
I am desperately trying to figure out a title for this review as we do it, so that's why.
Braun. I think Braun. I like that.
But that's not on this show.
Yes, it is. It's on this fucking show. Braun.
That's not where he
Book
came
said.
up with it, though.
Wait, what is that then?
What do you mean, what is that? He said it last week, I guess.
So it counts for I mean, it comes to, okay, who cares, man? I thought it was pretty unique. Okay, whatever.
Well, you know what? You're too late on the draw.
All right, whatever.
Anyway, they have the match. It's not bad. It's just pretty predictable. The best part about this was the Braun and Bronson Reed, their entrance teams getting clashed together. That was kind of fun.
Was that the best part of this match?
The match wasn't bad. It's just it was fine. Match was fine. No one ever thought that Penta and Samuel were winning, so it was fine.
Match was good though. I liked it.
It's good. It's just at no point did I actually believe, oh wow, Sammy's gonna win this or Penta's gonna win this.
I like the ending where he got speared in the ribs or whatever, and then it was like, oh, he's done for.
You like the ending where not Bronson Reed, where Braun Breaker murdered Sami Zayn? Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Ah, it's like that. It was it kind of fit with the injury as well as the finish.
Well, that does happen, but then they proceed to try and beat up on them some more. Penta takes a spear.
And he took the spear. I was like, are they just gonna wait to hit him until someone comes to save him? But he just went for it. He was like, okay, I'll spear him.
Yeah, he went for it, man. He did the spear, but then they try to do the tsunami onto Sammy. Jey Uso comes out because that's the only support system they have, which is unfortunate, and chases him off, and then that's the end of Raw.
It's a good thing he had a steel chair.
He did. And it's also a good thing that, unlike Penta, he didn't take 5 years to dance to the ring.
I thought he was gonna do the 4 letters, 5 words. Eat.
See, this is why Solo Sikoa might actually be my new favorite wrestler, unrelated, by the way,
Stop.
because on the post show, he goes 4 letters, 1 word, stop. And I said, you know what, W Solo. I love that guy.
I think he's great, actually. I do like Solo. I can't argue with that one.
Anyway, that was Raw. I
Oh yeah, the
overall,
faces stand tall, man. Everyone was standing up afterwards.
yeah, pretty much. That was self-explanatory, I thought.
Not really. They're on the ground and Jey Uso stands tall.
Well, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn stand tall. Penta was kind of just not there because he got
He was
speared, I think.
there. I saw. I think I saw
Was he there?
him.
I don't think I saw
I
him.
think every single one of them were standing up. Yeah, I think
They look like they'd just been through World War III, except for Jey Uso, because he
Jey Uso was
didn't
just
do anything
there.
else the rest of the night.
Yeah, he's just eating.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to come out and do the whole fucking dance and celebration with the crowd before he saved Sami Zayn.
I actually did too. Actually, I was worried about that.
This is how bad it is. I see him, and I'm just ready for him to do the dumbest nonsense you ever see
I
in
was
your
like, are
life.
they gonna do the whole entrance and they're just gonna watch him?
I thought they were. I really did.
And how you do it is he does the entrance and they just keep beating them up and keeps doing it until he does the whole entrance and then he saves it.
It's like when Jeff Hardy used to come out and try to save people, but he does the whole thing, the whole gimmick.
And that's funny though. I like that.
It's kind of funny. But anyway, that was Raw. Overall, besides the first segment, I thought it was a pretty decent show. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs in the middle from me. I thought it was pretty mid. Triple H needs to get better on his booking skills.
If it wasn't for the in-ring stuff being pretty good this week and that banger from actually Sheamus and Rusev, it might be a thumbs in the middle, but I enjoyed it just a bit too much.
I think he needs more bangers on the show, I think.
And you know what? The show was over before 9 p.m., so that's also a win in my book.
He needs more bangers and he needs better booking.
Just for the
Overall, with
announcement,
storylines.
just for the commentary announcing that SmackDown will now be 2 hours again, greatest show of all time, actually. Double thumbs up.
It has zero things to do with this show.
It made me happy that I could watch SmackDown again if I wanted to and not feel like it's an eternity watching it. So for me, it made me feel happy while watching Raw.
I will never watch SmackDown a day in my life.
It's because you can't.
It's because I can if I want to, but I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, the legal channels, definitely.
They have a very legal way. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. Follow us on all podcasting platforms and all the social media platforms. If you haven't and you're on the podcasting platforms, please give us a 5-star review. Very helpful. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.